Hi, welcome again. My name is Julie with Fresher X. Today we have you in the kitchen and we're going to be cooking some seasonal recipes that are going to use cucumbers. So let's get ready. The first recipe that we have for today is an easy pickled cucumbers. This recipe can be used for any kind of hard vegetable, not just for the cucumbers. You can use peppers, you can use onions, you can use also carrots, green beans, anything that you have around your fridge can be used for this recipe. I normally don't use canning for this recipe. It's better if you just preserve them on the refrigerator. It can last you for about a month on the refrigerator. As long as you keep them in a clean container and you keep it clean whenever you're serving them, they will last well for you. So first thing we're gonna start doing, I have my bowl ready. This is where I'm gonna start putting on my cucumbers. These cucumbers, they're gonna be a little sour, and I know that because they get a little yellow. That means that when they were growing, they didn't have enough water. So a trick that I came to learn of how to remove the bitterness of the cucumber is you just cut the end and you rub. When you rub, there is an enzyme inside the cucumber that comes out, and you know you have rubbed enough when the enzyme ends up coming. So this one doesn't have that much, it's just right here. So you can notice it starts getting a white rim on the end. So it doesn't have that much. And we do it with the ends, not with the middle, because the bitterness concentrates at the end of the cucumber. Okay, so that's about good. We're gonna rinse it quickly. And then we're just gonna roughly chop them 1/4 of an inch wide. We're gonna be throwing them. You're gonna do that part later. Let's see, cucumber number 2. You will always cut the end where it's being attached to the plant. We know the difference because one is kind of has a itty bitty hole, the other one is just flat. And again, I will remove the bitterness. We're good on this one. I don't care too much about rinsing them right now because we're gonna process them with some salt to help the extra fluid coming out. And after that, we're gonna work on getting them dry. So look at this one. This one definitely had a lot more. And we're just gonna keep rubbing. Pretty much until we notice it stops coming. Yeah, this one had a lot more.
Please only use adult supervision or be an adult while cutting.
PSA. I will use my cucumbers and a medium onion with some jalapenos that I got in the garden. So while I work with the onions and the jalapenos, Catalina will start mixing some of the salt into the cucumbers. Again, this does not have to be perfect, but definitely with this onion, you want to separate all the rings, all the different layers. Good job, got that? So, let me wash this pickle. The jalapeno, if you are the kind that likes the seeds, you can keep the seeds in there. It's gonna be a little hard to keep the seeds since we're gonna have to dry them. But if you don't like, an easy way to get them out and this works with any pepper. Just gently, you don't have to push too hard, and it comes, all of it. Very gentle, you don't have to force it. Clean. You let me know when we're ready, Catalina. And by the way, we only use 3 tablespoons of salt for all the cucumbers and all the veggies that we have in here. We try to get about 2 pounds of cucumbers or vegetables in general. So this is 2 pounds with 3 tablespoons of salt. Now, next step, we're going to take the cucumbers and lay them out on a tray with the salt. What it does, it removes all the extra fluid from the vegetables. So let's get all my vegetables. And once you let them rest for about 2 hours, they are ready to be pickled. So these cucumbers, we got them ready last night. They've been overnight on the fridge. And you can notice how much fluid it released. The reason why we do that with the salt, it's because it helps the pickle to stay more crispy. So it's worth the wait. I'm gonna take these onions. Okay, so your two girls gonna start working laying out those cucumbers in here while I keep working on this part. So the cucumbers now, we're just gonna rinse them from all that extra salt. Doesn't have to be too much work, and we're gonna leave them here soaking while we work on the brine. So for the brine, we're just gonna take a pot, which I have it right here. Okay, I will turn on my pot, let it warm up. I have white vinegar. This is 2.5 cups of white vinegar. We'll add it to the pot. Whoop. If you're like me, 3 cups, and then you spill half of it. We are going to add, for this pickle, it's bread and butter pickle, so we like the sweet part. I am using stevia instead of regular sugar. This is 1.25 cups of stevia that I will add to my brine. Okay. I have a whole tablespoon of mustard seeds. You can even add different things, like if you like dill seeds, you can add a little bit of dill seeds, caraway seeds, just the corns of the peppercorns, you can add all of that. This is about 1/4 of a tablespoon of turmeric, 1 whole tablespoon of celery seeds, and about 1/2 tablespoon of whole cloves. And we're just gonna add them again to our brine. Now we'll just mix it. And we're gonna let it stay there. It's gonna warm up and eventually boil for about 5 minutes. So while that is getting ready, I have my jars in here. The way you clean them is, of course, soap, but also you want to boil them a little bit. So if there is any leftovers, residues will come out and kill any bacteria that will have in them. And we're just going to start packing them. Girls, good job laying them out. And we just want to distribute the onions and the cucumbers evenly. It makes about 3 jars. I have a fourth just in case that I got some extra. You want to pack them well. You want to leave about a half an inch to the top of the rim so you have space for your brine to float. I like this. They look happy. We're going to keep an eye on our brine. You can notice it starts getting all those colors and starts smelling delicious. The stevia dissolved in the brine, so we have no issues on that part. And while that starts boiling, we're gonna start making a quick salad for summer. I always tell you about cucumber and how good of a snack it is, especially because it's no carbohydrates, it's a lot of nutrients for you and also a lot of water in them. So again, I'm cutting my cucumber, removing all that bitterness. And here I have options. If you're the kind that doesn't like to eat the skin, it's fine. You can take it off. I'm fine with that crunchy part, so I will leave it. Okay, that's about right. Just gonna rinse this. And then I'm just gonna slice it. I like thinly sliced. And then, of course, we can just place them on a plate. Okay, you can do that part. I mean, if you have a mandolin, that's a lot easier. I'm just old school. We have options of how we want to condiment them. You can always use everything but the bagel seasoning. So I'm gonna make one row with that. This is mushroom powder. One of the recipes that we also make at home is the mushroom ketchup. Maybe we can make it in the future. And I like the mushroom powder just for seasoning. You can always just go a little bit of black pepper. And if you are more into the spice part, we have two options. This is, my husband makes hot sauce. So the leftovers of the hot sauce, we dehydrate them and then make them in powder. So this is that leftover. It has a lot of flavor and a lot of goodies in them. And that's it. Those are your snacks. If you feel like a little more, you can always just cut a couple of tomatoes and put them on top. You feel fancier. You need something else. It's quite easy. You can just take a slice of cheese. This is goat cheese. And you can just mix and match. You want to try that?
Yeah.
You want to try the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. That's really so good.
My brine is ready now. And we're going to get it into the different jars. So I'll like to mix it a little bit. Just pour. This is I measure, so I measure to the base of the ring. Okay. Let's add some of this seed in here. Want to make sure all of them get enough seeds in there because that gives a really good flavor. Oh my god, they're strong. Oh, yeah, this is strong. Sorry, it made me cry. Hopefully it will make you smile. And this one does not have enough, so how do I solve that? Quite easy. I'll just go ahead and add a little bit more of my vinegar on top. With this, guys, we'll place the seals and the rings. We need to make sure they are well sealed. Okay, and we're gonna leave them upside down for at least 15 minutes. That's gonna help us to make sure every single cucumber gets enough brine in them. Once 15 minutes have passed, we place them in the fridge and they'll be ready to eat in a couple of hours.
Pickling keeps it for a longer time, so it saves money. It also, the vinegar makes you full faster, and it has 0 carbohydrates.